Hi, welcome back to my channel. This book review is for Token by Beverley Kendall. Now, if you look at the cover, you see a black woman on the cover, and therefore, by seeing this black woman on the cover, you wonder what this book will represent for our character in this book. Now, her name is Kennedy Mitchell, and the one thing that I hoped for is that it wouldn't be a preachy book. Why did I go into this book hoping it would not be a preachy book? Well, it's because of how the story started, and I tell you, it was an excellent story. We have a woman, like I said, her name was Kennedy Mitchell, and she was a receptionist, and she was one of the very few women of color or people of color on staff. Well, a black pop star was coming in, and I think it was like an advertising or something along that line firm, and they really wanted to make a good impression on this woman who could bring money into the firm. The thing is, they didn't have anybody on staff that could even relate to this young black pop icon. So they plucked Kennedy from the receptionist desk and said that you are now such and such and such and such in our company. Here's an office, here's a title, here's a badge, here's a nameplate. Let's make this company look good. Yeah. That's where I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Because it was a PR agency. And guess what Beverly does? She goes along with it for a hot minute, but then she has a best friend. In fact, her best friend is white. And because of the way that Kennedy got thrust into the situation, this is where I'm like, okay, I can enjoy this book because Kennedy makes a decision. She's not going to fall in line. She's not going to be the token black woman to represent this agency. In fact, she's going to start her own agency. And since they try to use her as a token, guess what? She's going to name her company Token. Oh, yes, I'm here for it. That's how good the book was. Quick transition from me wondering where this was going to go and me going in for the ride saying yes. Now, here's the thing, okay? There's a lot of messages in this book. There's a lot of messiness in this book. And being a PR agency that she was working for and now starting her own, it was all about image, okay? So somebody from her past had his name smeared in the public eye. So she's going to help clean up his image. Here's the thing. He's from her past, but not just any past. In fact, he is her best friend and business partner's brother. But Kennedy has a history with him. And can she clean up his image, keep his image as sharp as it needs to be on the fact, along with the fact, not on the fact, but along with the fact that the guy, Nate, and her have a history. Now, remember I said this book is Token, and it's going to address issues of black people being thrust into a situation, or a black woman being thrust into a situation simply because she was of color. Well, this isn't a women's fiction book, as I thought it was going to be. In fact, it's a romance. Okay, 4 minutes into the video, what am I talking about? A romance? Yeah. And it's an interracial romance at that. Yeah. Kennedy and Nate sitting in the tree. Kissing. What? Okay, so I'm going into a book thinking it's going to be a strong message. It's going to be a preachy book. And then loving Kennedy for taking the bull by the horns and creating her own agency with her white best friend and helping people to maintain great images in the social eye. But now the story takes a shift. we find out that I think they were in college or something when they had a thing. Yes, Kennedy and Nate had a thing. Obviously didn't last. In fact, Nate, as we find out as the story progresses, is a billionaire who's been living in Paris for years. But now he's back in the US. And we also find, as we read the story, that Kennedy had a fairly good relationship, but that relationship came to nothing. And now Nate is back. And remember the book that I thought was going to be a women's fiction with a message? And now I'm finding out that it's a romance, an interracial romance. We get to see their story. And I loved it. I loved it. I did. I did it. Excellent, excellent story. Highly recommended. I love the fact that the book didn't take me where I thought it was going to take me. Instead, it gave me much, much more. It gave me much, much more. And I'm going to give kudos to the designer of this cover, tricking me into thinking I'm going to be reading a strong women's fiction book, and instead I'm reading an interracial romance when there's no other half of the romance character on the book cover. Yeah, loved it. Now, my friend Fashawn is supposed to be reading this, but I'm pretty sure she hasn't read it yet, so I've got to get on her because I want to talk to her about this book. Yes, I do. So there you have it. Great book by Graydon. I think it was Graydon House. Yeah, Graydon House, which is a Harlequin imprint. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Highly, highly recommend it. And it's called Token. Romance, fiction, excellent book. Really, really warm story. Warm story. Loved it. Alrighty. That's all I'm going to say. Go on and on. That's what I do. But we're going to stop and let you take a look at this book cover. Go into your Goodreads or your Amazon store and look it up yourself, and maybe you might want to read it. Alrighty. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.